All right, so greetings, dear Leo. That's you guys over here. This is Tarot Lumination. This is a mini report for late April 2019, calling it What Now? I'm doing this is like a general alert, kind of like a weather report, because towards the middle and the end of the month, things get very, let's say, volatile, combustible around the full moon. And I will show you in just a moment. Let me give you the basic dates. I'm not going to try and analyze this or anything. So anyway, April 11th, we have Jupiter going retrograde in Sagittarius. April 19th, the full moon in Libra, Aries sun there. And around the 20th, next day, the sun enters Taurus, fully opposing Uranus, by the way. Oh, sorry, forget that. Mercury is now in Aries, Venus entering Aries. April 25th, Pluto goes retrograde into Capricorn, and on the 30th, Saturn goes retrograde into Capricorn, okay? So that's a lot of this is like heavy duty energy going retrograde, so it's going to feel like we might be getting pulled over to the side of the road for no good reason. Our lives like, well, excuse me, officer, what's happening? Why am I being pulled over? Please don't take the bait. Please, you don't mess with police officers, okay? Anyway, I want to show you for Leo kind of what it looks like on the chart. It's the same chart for everybody. I'm just showing you the simplest thing I can. This is the generic chart based around the Aries, but for you, Leo, we're going to put it over here, okay? Putting you on the horizon, right here, right here. So what happens is, basically, the full moon followed it's almost at the same time. You've got I think of it as a pseudo full moon, because this Scorpio moon is going to be opposing Uranus in Taurus right over here. It's almost like one whole thing. It's like two full moons at once. It's to me, it's weird. So that's adding to the volatility and the combustibility. The reason it's combustible is because of Uranus being opposed, even though it's out of sign. There's an opposition here, and it's on a full moon, and at the same time, it's being loosely squared off by all this Capricorn energy over here. And that's in your 6th house of health. So what I'm sensing here in general is like, hey, Leo, let's pay attention here, because you might be discovering in, let's say, uncomfortable ways, volatile, combustible ways, about what's not working in the relationship dynamics at the foundations and the home of your life, and how that impacts your destiny, your sense of career in this life, your mission, your purpose. Like, who am I? What am I doing here? And they affect each other. One affects the other, and you might feel this most dynamically in the context of relationships, okay? Volatile, combustible, maybe unpredictable patterns, behaviors, and actions in the relationships that might flare up around the 20th. And so you would have to consider the health of your relationships over here. And there's a lot of pressure from Pluto and Saturn to take account, to be highly accountable, highly responsible for your actions, your habits, day-to-day habits regarding the health of all of this, okay? So let's get back to here so you can see the dates. April 20th, okay? The April 11th was when we have that kind of awkward moment just starting, Jupiter retrograde. And this over here is when everything goes retrograde, okay, for Pluto and Saturn. So that's a lot of pressure, okay? That's the volatility, okay? 29 degrees, 29 degrees. It's the anoretic degree. It's the critical degree. Let's just get to it. I don't want to predict anything here. I'm not predicting future. All I'm just trying to do is give you information. And it's up to you how you handle that information. I'm seeing it as a real potential for flare-ups and combustibility, and that's why I'm putting it out kind of like a red alert, okay? It doesn't mean everything's going to get bad. It just means there's a lot of vulnerability for all of us. We're all having to deal with exactly the same pattern, but it's in a different place in each of our charts. So for you, Leo, actually for the same, let's do watch for your sun, moon, and rising, okay? Especially if each one's different, and then reinterpret. Cards are already well shuffled in advance. I'm just going to the last second so that you're a witness. Thank you very much for being here. Please invite your invisible friends. We probably need every bit of support we can get. And they're always there for you, but it really, really helps if you invite them in. They love to be invited. It's just like humans. We like to be invited. We don't want to barge in to your party, Leo, and tell you how to live your life. Angels don't do that. They like to be invited. You can invite all that into your life. You can figure that out. Okay, let's go. Cards are good. I'm just clearing till I feel good about it. Okay, good. Let's cut it all up. So bless the deck. Bless every single card. Bless you, Leo. Bless the whole channel. Bless the technology that we can even do this at all. Here we go. Here's the situation. Here's the challenge. Here's how we're going to handle it. And I'm looking at this really, to be honest, almost like a relationship reading, because the energy of relationship is so profound at that time, around April 20th. Okay, so please allow for that. The build up to the 20th and the integration from after the 20th for the next couple of weeks until you get to the Taurus new moon in May. So what's the weather like? Let's have a look. Circumstantial environmental influences. So you have the Tower. All right, so my feeling is that with the Tower energy here, you might be getting really caught off guard by some of the volatility that's happening, okay? And then what do you do about that? In other words, this is almost stuff that it's impossible to predict. I believe this is going to be very much to do with the foundations of your life, your sense of stability, your sense of home and family. And I'm going to just illustrate that again over here for you Leos. Where is it? Okay, I'm thinking of this over here. The energy of like earthquakes, volatility, instability, combustibility over here in the foundations of your life. And how does that impact your sense of being out there in the world, being the star in your life, in the movie of Leo? How is that going to look? On the other hand, the combustibility here could be happening out there in the workplace, your career, your sense of being out in the world, and that can have like huge shock waves and impacts on the foundations of your life, your home, your family, where you sleep, where you have security, where you shower, where you basically stay safe, okay? So please be aware, okay? Extreme volatility, potential for volatility here. Let's put that aside for a moment. I don't want to distract you. What's the situation like? Okay. So what's that expression? Out of the bad comes the good. Out of the chaos comes the art. That's what I'm seeing here with the Ace of Pentacles for you, Leo. So my feeling is, though, it's almost like it's almost like a spectacle. It's almost like you're witnessing your own life as a spectacle, and you're in it. You're right in the depths of it. And as I'm feeling like these extreme polarities, as within, so without. And so let's basically say, let's pretend I'm you, Leo, and it's just like, I'm looking at my world, I'm thinking, you know what? If everything's going to go to hell, if everything's going to blow up, I might as well take what Tarot Lumination talks about sometimes, about how this can actually be one of the most powerful healing cards in the deck. Aha! So in other words, this doesn't have to be so terrifying. This could actually be a blessing. The Tower energy can like blow away anything and everything that's no longer relevant in your life. And then, kaboom, you're left with all the rubble and the resources and like new lands, new territories from which to start from scratch. And you know, like what happens with volcanoes, a lot of the time the land under volcanoes can become very nutrient rich. So like there's places in Italy where they insist on living under the volcano areas because it's fertile. So I'm seeing that here, like out of the chaos comes the art. Out of the bad comes the good. So if shocking, scary, unpredictable things are happening to you at the foundations and the career sectors of your chart, my feeling is that you're actually seeing this. You're already ahead of it. It's just like, yeah, I got this, TL. I know exactly what you're talking about. I got it. This is new opportunity, and making things right, getting my act together, because I don't have a choice anymore. I have to, so I'm just going to go for it. Okay, that's what I'm sensing here. So that to me looks very courageous, very encouraging. It's like you're being gifted. This, which could be scary, is actually an extremely valuable gift. What's the challenge with all of this, though? Let's have a look. See, with the Six of Swords here, my feeling is that because it's so potentially tumultuous, all of this stuff, also, okay, let me do this. Hold on, I got to do this reference here. The Aries Libra thing, maybe it's not so tumultuous for you because Libra and Aries energy is actually quite comfortable for you, Leo. But think about it, the 29-degree mark, the anaretic degree over here, and the combustibility, the pressure, and then moments later, Moon in Scorpio opposing Uranus and Taurus over here. All of a sudden, that's not quite so cozy for you. Okay, the Scorpio-Taurus axis can be actually quite challenging for you, Leos. It becomes like a big square, okay? And so despite, you know, what we're talking about here, and you being brave and heroic and doing the Leo thing, and being very creative, imaginative, and making the best out of something that might be very challenging, there is still the part of you that wishes deep down, like, I wish I didn't actually have to deal with this, because, you know, things were okay up to a point. I get it. I see what you're talking about, Tarot Lumination, but sometimes I just want peace and quiet for myself. And my feeling is that there's a sense of fear inside of you that you won't actually be able to handle this, because this is quite extreme energy here. This is quite extreme. And then the card of sacred opportunity for abundance, for opportunity, measurable evidence of making things good and making things right again. That's also a powerful card too. And I see them as working very closely together, like against all odds. This is actually good for you. But it does put you under a lot of pressure. In other words, let me go back to this thing over here where, excuse me, where this lies, the Pluto Capricorn thing over here, the retrogrades, that's like a huge amount of pressure to seriously check your health, get your act together, get your life together. And that might feel a little bit intimidating, like, because the full moon stuff that we're talking about here around the 20th is pretty obvious, it's evident. But with Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, those are much deeper currents of energy, and they might not be so detectable. And that might be causing anxiety and flusters inside without you even knowing it, and making you wish, like, you know, some of this stuff, I wish I never had to deal with it. I wish life was simpler. I wish I could just, you know, work with what I know works already and just keep going with that. And that should be enough. But the thing is, Leos, along with all the rest of us, there are these, I call it like just pressure of the universe, astrological, whatever you want to call it. I think of it as the planets. They are pressuring and pressuring and pressuring us to evolve and to grow and adapt in order to blossom. And what's the alternative? We perish, we wither, okay? We don't want that. The thing is, under so much pressure to evolve, grow, and adapt and blossom, it is a lot of pressure, and that can take a toll on us to the point where we literally would want to wig out and just say, I can't take this. I wish I didn't have to do it. So how are we going to handle it? Okay, so with the Temperance here, this is the art. I think of it as art, the art of living. So it's almost like going full circle, like, basically, Leo admits to yourself, like, I don't have an option here, so I'm just going to have to deal with it. I'm going to have to play to the fullest classic Leo characteristics and kind of be a hero. Different to the Aries type energy, much more being magnanimous, generous, like being classic Leo, being willing to be out there and like live by example, live the courage, live the life, live the boldness, and put yourself in the position of an artist where the artist looks and says, you know what, this is an incredible opportunity. All the volatility, the combustibility that Teal's talking about, this is fodder. This is raw material for my new masterpiece going forward. So I don't have to live in like the desire of wanting to escape from it all. I can turn this into a work of art. In other words, you know what? You know how artists work, Leo? They, especially if they work with mixed media, they look at everything as material for their work of art. Instead of thinking, oh, that's a piece of driftwood, that's a broken relationship. Oh, maybe you can turn a broken relationship into a song or a poem, or sing about it, or maybe you can write about it and turn it into a work of art. Maybe you can celebrate something joyful that comes out of this, turn that into a work of art. Look at all your love, all your relationships, all the chaos, the volatility, the combustibility as an amazing opportunity to get like be an artist, and so you're being gifted with a brand new set of media, new palettes, new inks, new paints that you never had before. And all of a sudden, like, wow, out of the chaos comes the art. And that is the beauty of this. It's the art of living, the balance, the healing of the self, the ultimate, it's almost like the ultimate card of self-healing when we are forced to go into self-healing. Ultimately, as you know, Leos, all healing is self-healing in the end. We often need a lot of help from professionals, our loved ones, however it is. But in your situation, I feel that you are actually figuring this out, perhaps on your own, perhaps the hard way, but it is being figured out. You're dealing with it, and you're going to deal with it because you have to, okay? You'll be fine. I hope the story made sense for you, Leo. I'll leave this over here as a reference, okay? So you can see the whole movie. Think of this as like a little movie and a story for you. Thank you, sir. I don't want to say anything more. I don't want to spoil this. You can reinterpret however you want. Watch for your sun, moon, and rising. Please subscribe. Love the likes. I love the comments. I read every comment. I reply to as many as I can. Also, please consider membership. If you need any personal services from the channel, again, all in the links below. Also, please pay attention to your notifications. I'm learning that it's actually very complicated for the subscribers what to do and how to do it, so you get the information that you need about the channel. Thank you very much, Leo. Bye-bye. All the best. You can handle it.